All the world's a stage.
All the world's a stage.
All the world's a stage.
All the world's a stage. And all the men and women, merely players.
Merely players.
Merely players.
Merely players.
Boston Podcast Players.
Gets to talk about their own work as much as they'd like to. So,
snaps to that. My name is Greg Lame. I'm the company manager of Boston Podcast Players.
My name is Mara Palma. I am the company dancer of Boston Podcast Players.
In case you haven't caught on by now, we're just giving ourselves every real and made-up managerial title in theater to ourselves during each episode. Do you know what a company manager does in a theater?
Company manager?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of shrouded in mystery.
So a company manager is the person, if you're like in a repertory theater, the actors come in and someone needs to get their rooms ready. So the company manager, I worked in theater out of college, and so the company manager in the one I worked at in Springfield, Mass.
Western Mass?
His job seemed to be carrying mattresses up 3 flights of stairs to get the rooms ready for actors.
No thank you. Ooh.
So it is less impressive than the title would suggest. So in theater, when working in theater and trying to be a playwright in theater, there is trying to go through the existing structures. And there's also saying, I don't understand that, so I'll do it myself. So Our featured playwright today, Mary McCullough, definitely has had a do-it-yourself ethos throughout her career. She's done a lot of things over the years. Mm-hmm. So let's welcome her to Boston Podcast Players. Mary McCullough, author of Ballahoo and the Hair Kitchen. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And we have been recording these in your house, very graciously of you. So thank you for letting us invade your house once every month or so.
And letting these playwrights and artists come through and eat your food and record their plays.
It's been my pleasure. I love the sense of creative spirit, and your energy is left behind, and I just feed on it. So it's great.
Have you learned anything just by watching all these different plays being sort of produced on one-offs inside your house?
Including your own.
Yeah, I'm amazed at the work that the actors do when they're just reading for a part, and what's different about acting per se and putting in gestures and sound and that sort of stuff versus just trying to read a play and have it be clear to someone who's listening, and the difference that they put into the different characters.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed watching people work and listening to how they do the characters that they're reading.
Yeah, when we take a 10-minute chunk out of the middle of a play, we have to occasionally say, we need to make sure the listener knows this, which is in other parts or would be visible but not audible.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Before we forget, let's go and ask for the sort of 5-minute overview of Ballahoo and the Hair Kitchen.
Ballahoo and the Hair Kitchen came about because I was reading a book about African words that had made it into the English language, and I came across the word Ballahoo, and it only had one little definition, a demon. And at that time, I had been asked to write a one-act play for a theater in Somerville, no longer exists. And I was searching for ideas. And I grew up in a neighborhood where there were root women, or people who practice what I call in the play hoodoo.
And that's different from voodoo.
It's different from voodoo. Hoodoo is just a person who believes in a kind of magic, and that they can make that magic, and they also have all sorts of recipes and things they use to heal folks. People come to them for various things that are wrong with them, and they give them a pouch, or they might give them a tea or something like that. So The idea came about because I just started writing a woman who was a hoodoo woman who was also haunted by this demon called the Ballahoo. And from that, I had to sort of think about, well, she does that, but what else does she do? And I came up with the idea of having her be a cosmetology type person who worked on dead bodies to make them presentable to the family before they're put in the ground. So she does hair, but every once in a while she'll take live clients, but mostly she takes her little bag of goodies and goes out to wherever the body is. And I put her in a community and gave her a sister who definitely does not believe in hoodoo, and put some other women in who were either living in that community or working with a sister who was a principal of a school.
And from these characters, you have a fully formed and rendered African-American community in the South, right?
Yes, it's really loosely based on the community that I grew up in terms of the geographical setting, because I know it really well. I mean, I live there, so when I describe something, I have a sense of where it is, what it looks like. And I think, like most writers, you push the envelope. You might know that this is a table, and you can describe it. But if you're a playwright, maybe like Raye, the table might float. For me, the table is going to have a symbolic meaning from what happens around the table. If you're in the African American community, a minister might come in, or if it's Sunday, you have Sunday dinner after church, or everyone gathers around the table, and you have a description of the food and what people eat and stuff like that. So I had a setting, I had some characters, and I had a demon. And I had a woman who was a hoodoo woman who believes in magic. And
mix them all together.
I mixed them all together, and they all started talking. And sometimes they started fighting.
I remember there was a few students from the school, right? Because one of the characters is a principal.
The sister of the hoodoo woman is the principal of the school, and there is a student who is in that school. And this is, in terms of historical times, it's right at the beginning of the Freedom Marches in 1961. So change is coming to this community. Schools are going to be integrated. But historically in the South, what happened is that it was a long time after the board versus the Board of Education before that law actually hit a lot of the small southern towns, and things began to change. It took a while. But what happened is that people lost their jobs. African American teachers lost their jobs. And a lot of the particular kinds of social institutions that students had at that time were ended, because integration meant you couldn't go to the prom where there was integration and white and black students are going to dance together. I mean, you couldn't have that. If there was an important thing like a teenage girl looking forward to being the queen of her school, that is not going to happen any longer. So the young girl in Ballahoo in the hair kitchen is about to lose that opportunity. So I tried to tell her story also. Just from a small,
there's people talking in their homes about things, but from that perspective, you get a wide range of a whole lot going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Mary, you mentioned that you had spent some time in a setting similar to where your play is set. Is that where you were before?
That's where I grew
Boston?
up. That's where I grew up. I grew up in the segregated South in Virginia. But I came to New England to go to college. I went to college in Vermont. Mm-hmm. And then I drifted to Boston with a whole bunch of other students from college and got an apartment in Cambridge. Everybody wanted to be in Cambridge. I wanted to be in Boston because I was following bookstores.
Really?
I grew up where people did not have an opportunity to go to the library. It was segregated. So if you were African American, you weren't allowed to go into the library. It was only for white folks. And there were no bookstores. So when I went to college, the first thing I looked for was a bookstore. And then when I came to Boston, I wanted to be where there were a lot of bookstores. So around Harvard Square, there were lots of bookstores. So that was one of the things that attracted me to the Boston area. And it's always been important to me to be near a bookstore. So
it's harder to find bookstores in Boston now. Even like the Borders are not there any longer. I remember used to be some independent ones in Copley Square-ish, but now.
But I live near a bookstore I can walk to. It's wonderful. It has a cafe and everything. So,
do you ever write any of your plays in bookstores?
I haven't tried that. That's an idea.
Being surrounded by plays.
Yeah.
Or in books.
Books. Yeah, I love books.
So as you've been in Boston resident for quite a while, how has the theater scene changed over the years?
Well, when I first came to Boston, within the first couple of years, I got involved in the People's Theater. It used to exist in Cambridge. I have a background in theater. My undergraduate degree is in theater arts. So I wanted to find, community theater or some kind of theater that I could be involved in. But I did it through acting, not writing. And my background in terms of theater production, being a stage manager, lights, those kinds of things behind the scene in college, and very limited opportunity to actually act. So I was looking for opportunities to be able to be in productions when I came to Boston. So I joined the People's Theater of Cambridge and was able to do some Shakespeare and, that sort of thing. It's always been difficult. That's why I started the Street Feet Women's Performing and Writing Company, because it's difficult, especially years ago, as a person of color, to be able to be on stage or to get parts. And over the years, I think it has changed dramatically as far as, from back then to now. So I think there are opportunities for people of color, not only to write, but to perform.
And over the years you were doing Street Feet?
Yeah, for, a number of years, not only as people of color, but as women. We wanted to write and perform our own work. And we did that for we're still doing it, but mostly we're writing now, not performing. We took 2 shows to the United Nations Decade for Women Conference, one in Nairobi. So we toured when we were in Kenya. And then 10 years later, we went to China and we toured and we took a show. We took 10-minute pieces of each woman's part. It's interesting, and we traveled with the stage manager, director, the whole 9 yards, so that we could do shows when we were there.
Perform overseas like that, who's your audience? Who goes to these?
In Kenya, we toured schools. And it's very interesting. Like, we once performed in front of 500 girls in a high school, and we were absolutely sure that they didn't understand anything that we were doing on stage, but they all seemed to laugh in the right place. It was amazing. And in China, we were at the United Nations conference, so there were women from all over the world, and many spoke English. So, and we translated when we were in China. We took the whole script and we translated it into Chinese so it was available to the audience.
Wow. I noticed that the excerpt that we recorded of Ballahoo in the Hair Kitchen, all the characters are women. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering whether that is a conscious choice for you or whether you gravitate towards...
It's a conscious choice, yeah. I wanted to, and it was difficult because there's an opportunity for one man character to be, actually 2. There could be a doctor, a Jewish doctor, and the husband of one of the women. And I thought about that for a while, but then I thought, I want all women, and I want to depict the life of these women. They might talk about the man in their life, or if there's any possibility that a man has some influence in their lives, they may talk about it, but I didn't want them to appear. This is about women and how they resolve issues between themselves as women. Yes. So that was a conscious choice too. And I can't wait to see, well, I want to hear it read totally. And I did find a group of African American women who were outstanding and wonderful, and can't wait to do the full reading of the play. So I felt lucky to find them.
Do you feel like this play is pretty representative of the work that you like to write and that you like to produce and etc.?
I like writing about what I know, and I know a lot about my own cultural background. I know a lot about African American folks. I mean, that's the kind of family I grew up in. It's the kind of community I grew up in. So that's what I know. And I know about women. Every once in a while, I might write something about men, because I know about certain men, not a lot of men, but I know a lot about some African American men. So I might do that. But I don't think that I will step out of that zone of what I know. This is what I know.
I know you and I have had some conversations about the amount of work we put into playwriting versus the amount of satisfaction we can get out of it. I just want to know where are you at that question right now?
I've had to come to the conclusion that as long as I enjoy what I am doing and what I am writing, that's what it has to be at this particular juncture. Playwriting, it doesn't pay. Even people who are in the theater, they don't make lots of money. I think it's a genre where you have to enjoy what you're doing. And if you're lucky enough to think, okay, I want to get a reading, or, I want a public audience to hear my work. I've had a lot of opportunities to be before the public, so I feel like I've had a lot of satisfaction in terms of that. And I know how to self-produce, how to organize, how to find the actors, how to find a space where I can say, I need a reading, I need to have this read, even if I just do it in my living room. I think for someone who wants to make this their career and make money, I do think that they probably need to get an MFA in playwriting, make lots and lots of connections, do the networking thing. I still do some of that, but it's not my main priority at this juncture in my life, actually.
So, say someone's listening in on Boston Podcast Players, and why shouldn't they? They hear your excerpt. What's that phone call that you're hoping to get? When they say, hello, Mary McCullough, we heard your excerpt on Boston Podcast Players. What's that next sentence? Fill in the blank.
The next sentence is, this is Company One. We remember when you presented this play in Play Lab. We're interested in taking another look at it and possibly setting up a reading for you or producing it. That's the call I want.
Yeah.
Any other? Well, we don't have to name drop. I was going to say if you've got any other theater companies you'd like to work with.
Yeah, there are other theater companies in Boston that I wouldn't mind working with.
Great.
I wouldn't mind. Greg's going to work with Fresh Ink. I wouldn't mind working with Fresh Ink.
Yeah.
I like what New Rep does, and I think they're more probably aligned with the kind of thing that I write. But I'll work with any theater company. But I do want that call from Company One.
Okay, well,
You heard it here, folks.
And this stage of this play is at, you're basically at?
The play, it's interesting for me personally. I can say it's finished. However, it's in a revision stage at this moment where I want to add more magic. That was one of the things that I was given in feedback. And some of the other feedback that I've gotten was to give the women a purpose. Like, there's a lot of sadness in terms of what they lose in the play, but to give them a direction or a purpose, which I have actually discovered. I'm not going to give it away at this moment, but those two pieces of information or feedback were really important. But I feel like the play it is done until I have some sort of public reading.
Okay. Well, Mary, we could probably talk to you for hours.
But without further ado, we would like to present your excerpt, Ballahoo in the Hair Kitchen.
And thank you once again for letting us invade your space.
Ballahoo in the Hair Kitchen by Mary McCullough. Characters: Candy, sister to Janice, practices hoodoo. Janice, sister to Candy, and principal of Booker T. Washington, a black high school. Josephine Carter, a small, fragile woman. Maya, Josephine's daughter, 17. Nefetari, formerly Charity, friend of Candy and Janice, a radio preacher. Ballahoo, an entity or demon. Note: hoodoo, a practice, sometimes spiritual, found in the southern United States in African American communities. It is believed by some to have been brought from Africa by enslaved Africans. Other words used to describe persons who practice hoodoo are conjurer or root worker or even witch. People seek them out for purposes of changing their luck, to get love potions, to take off a jinx, to get relief from pain, to heal a sickness, etc., or to keep bad spirits or demons away. Hoodoo is not voodoo, which is a religion. People who practice hoodoo are typically Christian. Setting: segregated rural black community. Time: spring 1961. Act 1, Scene 1. Lights up on a dimly lit kitchen with a sink, a long table with 4 chairs. There is a blue bottle stick-like tree next to a radio on a table by the door. Horseshoe over the door. There are shelves filled with herbs in pouches, jars, and small red bags. Roots hang from ceilings in 2 corners. One on end of the long table are plastic heads whose colors are deep brown, almost black, brown, light brown, and lighter brown. 2 of the plastic heads have wigs on them. Combs, picks, curling irons, hair grease are beside the heads. There are 3 Morton salt containers visible around the room. There is 1 hairdressing chair with a white sheet on it. Can be used to cover clients and chair. There is an entrance door and an interior door where a stove and refrigerator are, not seen by the audience. Candy enters from the interior door, walks to herb shelf, takes Morton salt, goes to each corner of the room and slowly pours salt into hand and let it drift down from her hand onto the corners of the house and over each threshold. Candy walks out of the back door to the yard where a headstone sits on a grave and talks to the occupant of the grave.
Evening, Mama. Thought you might want to know Miss Rosie's on her way. She died sitting straight up on top of that plastic cover on her couch. Looked like she was visiting, waiting for visitors. That red lipstick painted on her lips she didn't really have. Wore too much if you ask me. Spick and span, the whole house and that indoor toilet was all brand new, shiny. She never used it. Kept going to the outhouse. Like you used to say, it takes all kinds. I got the call to go fix her face and her hair. Her family will be expecting to see that red lipstick. Her hair will be easy, seeing how it's stringy straight like some poor white woman. Just gonna pull it back in a bun, and she was always making fun of how you wouldn't straighten your hair, said you look like a pickaninny. You know, Mama, I can give you the last laugh. Have her looking like she said you look like. When she wakes up over there, it'll kill her all over again. Do you hear that? The Ballahoo's coming. Lord help us. It's coming. I'm keeping your spirit tree in the kitchen. Janice wanted me to throw it out. Your roots, too. She doesn't believe. We survived the Middle Passage in slavery time because we had our magic. We still need it. Janice doesn't get it, but I do. Mama, you have to help me help her. She's put all she's got into her school. What's she gonna have when she loses? There it is again. Be quiet, you demon.
Candy pours salt around the grave. Chants.
Salt, burn it, burn, burn. Push it back into the darkness, into the deep score of the wound. Make it go. Mama, help me. Pull it back. Leave. Leave this place. I know the rites and the rituals. I am the healer.
Sign in big letters come on. Healer. Rites and rituals. Lights down. Act 1, Scene 2. Scene is all shadows. Lights from the sign and moonlight outside in front of Candy's hair kitchen. Josephine enters, wears a worn nightgown, no shoes, humming to herself.
Roosevelt, you came back. What took you so long? Slow dancing with you sure lead a girl into trouble.
She dances as if with a partner.
I knew you would come back. Your daughter mine's almost a woman now. She's taking good care of me. Just like you would. Will you stay now? Will you stay with us? You'll like her. She's not like you and me. She's strong. I wish I could be strong for her. Well, maybe if you stay, we could help her. Keep her away from dark places. Give her a good life.
She twirls faster and faster and falls to her knees. Starts to take off her slip. Maya, her daughter, enters and runs to Josephine and helps her up.
Mama! Mama! Come on, Mama. Come home. Miss Candy's hair kitchen not open this early.
Dance with me. I'll teach you like my mama taught me. Put your knees together now. Sway your knees to the left, now to the right. Twist around. No, arms. Arms wide. Throw them up wide. Like this. It's a dance. Come on, baby, you can do it. Your daddy's coming for us. I have to stay awake. I have to tell him about you. You're so good. Like him. And tall just like him. Isn't it beautiful? I'm dancing. I feel so good when I'm dancing.
Okay. Come on, Mama. It's all right now. Let's go home.
Are you hot? I'm so hot. It's too hot for clothes. I could take them off.
Mama, keep that on. When we get you home, you can lie down, get some rest, try to sleep. Shh. It's gonna be all right.
Sing to me.
Lullaby and good night. Lay you down now and rest. May your slumber be blessed. Lay you down and rest.
Song continues as lights go down. Act 1, Scene 3. Radio blasting in Candy's kitchen. The Southern Negro is shouting, "Great day! Great day in this May morning. If not now, when? Now! Now is the time." Janice enters, watches Candy at the table, filling jars, listens to radio. "Negro children are leading us into a new day. It will be a glorious day. No longer satisfied with making a way out of no way, declaring we are citizens of this world with all those rights the U.S. Constitution gave our white brothers and sisters. There's a change coming. No weight to it. Declarations are being made in seats where hind parts have never sat before and feed so many feet. Our cadence echoing around the world. Bless and watch over them. The Greyhound bus leaves from D.C. today, headed for that big convention in New Orleans.
Illusions, oh, just like the river running. Ever since it's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come.
You always had a good voice. What you want? I'm busy.
I see that sign in my sleep.
That sign is my business.
She looks out the window.
I don't see your shadow, Charity, behind you.
Nefetari.
What that?
Charity changed her name to Nefetari after one of the great queens of Egypt. Nefetari went to the voter registration meeting.
Starting trouble already.
She came back to bury her mama.
And her staying here is your doing, I suspect. Charity, Nefetari's going to get herself arrested like before.
Nefetari has a grown woman's mind now. That's something you know all about.
Why do you keep kicking that bucket again?
Candy, you're so full of it. Mama's
sickness was eating her inside out.
She should have gone to a real doctor.
She made her choice.
Some people are too backwards for their own good.
That's a mean thing to say about your own mama.
I'm talking about you.
And I'm through saying you got it all wrong.
Janice pulls down a tied bunch of herbs from the ceiling.
These weeds don't hold magic. Get rid of them.
Oh, you didn't mind my weeds when you asked me to make you a potion to get Roy to notice you.
I was a foolish young girl.
But you got him, didn't you?
I don't have him now.
If you had really wanted him, you would have had put more into keeping him. Last time I saw Roy, he looked a little raggedy. He came by with that friend of his, Red Stockton.
That moonshiner.
Men do what they do.
Roy used to want more.
He and Red wanted to change their luck. I gave them each a penny for their mojo bags.
See, that's it. Why do you do that? You'll keep superstition going.
Janice, some people need a token or two, something solid to hold on to until their luck takes a turn for the better. No hurt in it.
You're wrong.
Red's eyes was blood-filled. I think he'd deepen his own moonshine.
He was a foolish boy, always standing around grinning like an idiot.
I liked him.
I've been seeing a few more horseshoes nailed to houses here and there. What's going on?
My sign don't say I can tell the future. The Ballahoo's coming. But that's just what I think.
The only thing's coming here is change. Candy, that sign has to come down.
Go tell somebody else what to do. I told you, I'm busy.
Is Mama's book someplace safe?
Janice, you're looking a little tired. Like you ain't sleeping enough. Is it Mama?
Mama's dust and bones.
Well, I can make you a common tea like Mama did when you'd wake up screaming that Ballahoo was after you. It'll help you sleep.
I don't want your hooey hoodoo. I'm begging you,
Stop this. Take down that sign. Accept Dr. Goldman's offer to record how Mama helped people with her specialties. He wants to help us.
Are you going to see him now? Janice, even you know. Some things written down need somebody else to say what it means. Mama's potions are in my head and inside my heart. Besides, no one can cipher what she put down but me.
If you sell him that book and helped him understand it, he'll pay you. You can make a different life for yourself.
I'll never give up to a white man what belongs to me. And I like my life just the way it is. Thank you.
You could have a real beauty shop in the new mall that's planned on Liberty. Start doing hair on live people. Everyone knows you do excellent work over at the funeral parlor. Nefetari said you made her mama look like she belonged in Ebony magazine. Live women pay good money to look that good.
Dead ones' families pay good too. Mama's conjuring book is staying with me.
That book is half mine.
You got your college education. I got the book and it's not for sale.
So are you keeping it in a safe place? It would be so easy for someone to steal it.
Only you and me know that book is real. You need money?
Being principal at Booker T is all I need.
And how long you think you're going to have that? Mixing white and black students going to be done the way the white school board wants to do it. You think you're going to stay principal of that school? You'll be lucky to have a teaching job.
You and your heathen ways can't see the future. You said so yourself. Integration is going to bring more opportunity for progress. Our students will get a better education, and our black citizens will have more choices, more resources.
First of all, I am African Methodist Episcopal, just like you.
You are not like me.
I am no heathen. Those white people you kissing up to, that school board making you ashamed of your own sister. You might be surprised who makes their way to my door after dark, wishing for things they can't find in the Sears and Roebuck wish book.
You've given people false hope. Take down that damn sign. It should have been taken down when Mama died. Take it down before I do it for you.
Janice knocks the plastic head off the table and she exits. Candy picks it up. Lights down. Act 1, Scene 4, Candy's kitchen.
Miss Candy? Miss Candy?
Lights up in the kitchen. Candy's tying her robot.
Just wait. The dead ain't going nowhere.
Miss Candy!
Stop yelling. I hear you.
She opens the door.
Trouble always finding its way to my door. Who's dead?
She said to come to you. She said you could help if I ever needed Mama. It's Mama.
Slow down, child. When did it happen? The time is important. Gives me a better picture in my mind of the condition of the skin. You're Josephine's Carter's girl from the bottom of the hill.
Yes, ma'am. Maya Carter. I take care of her. Mom and me do housework for folks when she's feeling strong. She said I should come here if I ever needed help. Mama needs your help.
Oh, I'm so sorry, child. Who got the body? You sit down while I put my bag together.
What body?
Sit down, child, before you fall down.
I don't know nothing about any body. Mama said look for your sign. Will you help her?
Exactly where is Josephine right now? She's still in the house?
I turned on Preacher John for her. His voice will keep her calm until I get back.
How old are you? And why aren't you in school this morning?
Today is Sunday. I'm almost 17, and most days I'm in the 11th grade at Booker T, unless Mama needs me. Sometimes she wanders outside without...
Oh, we all wander now and then again, child. It's part of living.
Without her clothes on. She can't sleep, and she don't hardly eat. Mama's disappearing. We can't pay you, but I could clean your jars, do errands for you.
I could use some help around here. What's your mama doing? Is she talking to herself, or is she talking to somebody you can't see?
She's saying my daddy coming back. She's seeing things that aren't there.
She's got herself agitated.
Candy gathers some leaves in a bag and ties it.
Pour some boiling water over these leaves. Let it sit a while. Then when it cools, make sure your mama drinks it all. It'll calm her, maybe let her sleep some. And here, take this salt, sprinkle it around your mama's room in the corners.
Oh, why?
You want my help? You do like I tell you.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Candy. Thank you. I'll come back tomorrow. Help you.
I'll be expecting you after school. And bring your mama with you.
Maya, what rabbit choked your garden fence? Is it her mama?
Needs calming, that's all. What you want, Charity?
Charity removes a blue headscarf.
Nefetari. My name is Nefetari. Can you help me?
Ooh, you're going bald. You need a wig.
I don't want a wig. I want to have easy to comb hair just like your sister Janice.
You need a wig.
Who's she wearing a wig?
Wig.
Candy points in the direction of the wig heads.
I got red, black, brown, and somewhere in a box I got a blonde one and a gray one.
Gray?
Well, older folks' families want gray wigs when their loved ones pass on, so they enter the other side looking dignified. Sickness sometimes take, all the hair. Are you sick?
Janice and me used to have long hair.
She cut it short when it started falling out. I kept telling her all that worrying she does isn't good for her. And those school board meetings? Well, she was stubborn for her own good. She got 3 wigs now.
I cut mine when
you went to Harlem. You sent us a picture of you. Your hair looked like a plastic cap, all shiny and slick, like it was glued to your head. You were a fat little thing when you left.
I thinned out, and so has my hair.
It's the lie that killed it. A head don't like being set on fire.
I couldn't do what you do, working on dead people.
Easier than the living. The dead don't ask for the impossible. You could buy one of my wigs, style it any way you want. Your hands can better control what ain't attached to your head. Guess it's the difference between what you can see and what you can't.
I don't want a wig. I am sick of trying to be someone I am not.
Sits in styling chair.
Just cut it short, even it out, and put some Afro sheen on it, and let it be what it is.
It's your hair. How about some tea while I work? It's one of my new ones.
No, one of your experiments, no thank you. I'll have some store-bought if you got it. Now, how do you think she's doing?
Maya's going to bring Josephine. I know more when I get a good look at her.
No, I'm talking about your sister.
Not much to smile about for her these days. She trying to save her school.
What do you think's going to happen? Ow! Why are you pulling my hair? That hurt.
Don't go planting any of your New York ideas in her head.
Ballahoo in the Hair Kitchen was written by Mary McCullough. To learn more about Mary, check out thestreetfeetwomen.org. Directed by Jackie Davis. Candy was played by Sonya Raye. Janice was played by Chris Everett. Josephine was played by Dayenne C.B. Walters. Maya was played by Jade Guerra. Nefetari was played by Kareema Williams. Radio Preacher and the stage directions were by Jackie Davis. Special thanks to Mary McCullough, who hosted this recording. Follow us on Twitter at BossPodPlay, BossPodPlay, and on Facebook. Please rate us on iTunes or your podcast player of choice. You can support us on Patreon at BossPodPlay. Our theme uses music from Snowman by the Neilds. See www.neilds.com for more info about their music. This podcast was edited by Alex Lagore. Playwrights, if you have a script, do not send it to us. We'll never have time to get to it. Steal this podcast idea instead.
On the next episode of Boston Podcast Players, we go in to get a little work done.
You were actually one of the first buyers of our deluxe packages. A complete life makeover. Seamless integration into your previous life. You wake up one day with a different life and you don't even know it. It was something of a proof of concept for our company, and it succeeded magnificently.
What? What's it? What succeeded?
Your marriage.
Repossessed by Greg Lamb. Downloaded on the first Monday of the month.